Hi guys, welcome back to CJ's Keto Kitchen. Tonight we are going to be making a very fun and easy spring recipe. And this is going to be Keto Strawberry Mountains, which is actually cheesecake stuffed strawberries with a chocolate drizzle. So come along with me and let's jump into the recipe. So let's go ahead and talk about our strawberries first and how to prepare them. So you are going to need about 20 to 24 whole fresh strawberries, or about a pint. And I have already prepared these, and I'm going to show you how I did it to make our mountains. So you are going to take your fresh strawberry, and I like to cut the top off, so that way I have a flat surface when we lay them down, so they look like mountains. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paring knife and I'm going to cut almost to the bottom. You can see where my knife blade is and the bottom of the strawberries. We want to keep enough of the bottom that it actually stays together. Then we're going to take our knife out and we're going to twist it around, and we're going to do the same thing all the way down, almost to the bottom. So the strawberry is staying together, but you can open it up and it has a little cavity in there, and that is what we're going to fill with our delicious filling. So that is how you prepare your strawberries. So I'm going to set my little mountains ready for filling aside to begin on our filling. So you are just going to need a small bowl. And in my small bowl, I have 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. I'm using the Philadelphia brand, because that is what I have found for me personally that has the lowest macros, but use whatever kind of cream cheese that you like. But it doesn't need to be softened because we're going to be beating this for just a brief second to combine our other ingredients. So it does help that it's soft, and it will also help us when we start piping it into our bag. I'm going to go ahead and give this a brief blitz. It is quite soft, just the way we want it. So you're going to need some type of powdered natural sweetener. I'm using monk fruit erythritol blend, but it is the powdered, as you can see. So you definitely want a powdered sweetener. If you only have granular sweetener, you can of course whirl it up in your food processor or your coffee grinder to make it the texture that you want. I have actually been making these for 25 years now. I used to make these back in my 20s for bridal showers, baby showers, any kind of special occasion where you were asked to bring a dish. They were always, people just thought they were so beautiful and so fantastic and tasted so good. And they're actually very simple to make, but they do look so pretty and they taste really good. Even my children love them. I had to keep them away from my test batch. So back then I used just regular powdered sugar, and that's why you want something that is the same consistency, because you want it to blend in very well to your cream cheese, because we're not going to be mixing this very long. The other thing that I want to put in before we add our sweetener is just a little bit of vanilla extract, and I'm just going to be putting in a squeeze here, which is about a teaspoon or so. So for the powdered sweetener, I'm going to be using a 1/2 cup, and you can just go ahead and put it in. And when I start to combine this, I'm going to start it slowly because of the powdered sweetener. Now, if you find that your mixture does not beat up well or is a little stiff, you can of course add a bit of heavy cream just to thin it out a bit. Likewise, if you find that it's too thin, you can add a bit more of the confectioner's powdered sweetener to make it the consistency that you would like. Okay, now I'm going to take what is inside of our bowl and get it into my bag. Now, what I have here is simply a Ziploc bag, and I have cut a small tip in mine and put my piping tip in. You can get these piping tips anywhere. I have even seen them at the dollar store. But I find, in my personal opinion, that I like using just a disposable bag. Number one, because it's disposable and more people have access to it. And that way, when I'm done with this, I don't have to wash it out. All I have to wash out is my tip. If you don't have a tip, you don't have to. You can just make sure that you cut your tip on your baggie just really small. That way it won't come out too much into your strawberries. And then I'm just going to put this over my measuring cup simply for getting my filling in there. And then I will close it up and make it into a piping bag. And I generally like to do about half at a time, just in case this starts getting too loose just from squeezing. I have the opportunity to have the other half of my filling still reserved, and I can always change bags if I need to. So I'm just going to take this filling and squeeze it down to the bottom. Okay, so now we are loaded and ready to go to our mountains. So you see that it has a nice little opening from the X that we created. And I just stick my piping bag in there and I squeeze some filling in, just like that. And it looks like a little snow-capped mountain. And you just want to repeat that with all of your berries. So you could absolutely be finished here. They are very adorable and they look like little snow-capped strawberry mountains. But if you want to be a little bit extra or a little bit fancy, which I am both of those things by nature, you could drizzle these with chocolate, which is what I am going to show you. So this is about a 1/4 cup of CHOCZERO white chocolate chips, and I have just heated it in the microwave at half power for 30 seconds, and then I stirred it, and then 30 more seconds. So we just have a white chocolate ganache. Yep, I want just a super teeny tiny cut. Okay. And I'm just gonna start drizzling on them. Just drizzling. You can put as much or as little as you'd like in any kind of pattern that you would like. And this is going to harden a little bit, so it's going to be very fancy. Okay, so there's one option. There's our white chocolate ones. Now another option, CHOCZERO makes a sugar-free chocolate fudge sauce, chocolate syrup. And it doesn't come with the squeezy thing. It comes with the little, it comes with just their lid. But I had an empty squeezy bottle, so I just put the lid on there. But you could actually put some of this in a baggie, like I just did. Or in lieu of this, you could, of course, just use either dark chocolate or milk chocolate and do the exact same thing I did with the white. But I'm just going to see how this works. And this is coming out slower because it's more like fudge. So it's not quite as quick as our baggie. This up a little bit. But this is a bit thicker than the chocolate chips. So I have found that the CHOCZERO do really, really well heated. They're some of the best chocolate chips, sugar-free chocolate chips that I have found that heat well. I did want to note that I did milk chocolate yesterday and I heated them too long and they just became stiff. They seized up, which happens with regular chocolate too. It's just not a sugar-free thing. So definitely undercook them. If you think they're, like, you don't want them to be like totally melted when you get it out of the microwave and like bubbling or anything, because then when you go to stir it, it'll just seize up and you'll have nothing. So I just rolled ours in wax paper and we ate it. It was still fine, but it didn't work out for my purposes. So I did want to mention that. Definitely follow the directions on the package. There are directions on the package. Okay, CJ. Would you like to sample these strawberries?
Sure, this is the one day that we do something different and my neck is stiff.
I'm sorry.
But go ahead.
Your neck, you can't really turn. All right, these are some pretty fancy strawberries. I think you need to tell us what you think.
try
Try one of each.
chocolate. It's good. We didn't have the chocolate before. And you're right, that syrup is like more like fudge.
Yeah, it's like hot fudge.
And then that.
Hardens.
Yep. Good. It was easy and I think people will like it. Good
Yes.
job, baby. Thank you.
You.
Bye.